morning, students. Let us now come to the next experiment, that is experiment number 7 for basic manufacturing lab, to preparation of green sand mold using a wooden pattern. So there are two important aspects of this experiment that you need to know. Already you are following basic manufacturing as your theory subject in your theory classes. From there also you can have a little bit of idea on what this experiment will let you know about the casting process. So now let us look at the important aspect of this experiment. One is your mold. One is your mold, that is basically made up of your molding sand, and another is the pattern. So we will make a green sand mold using a wooden pattern. So now pattern can be basically classified as two types. One is single piece or split pattern. Basically a single piece pattern is a pattern which is basically a single piece like this, and the same pattern, if you cut it into two halves by a section, and both the halves is separately known as split pattern. So these two kinds of patterns are generally used in industries for the pattern making or the mold making process. So these two patterns are basically used. So this is the pattern. Now coming to the mold or the molding sand, you have seen that in the last experiment we have done a grain fineness test where we have separated the dry sand according to their sizes in several sieves to achieve two things. One is a particular permeability and another is to have a good surface finish. Now this molding sand, it consists of sand, basically sand that is dry, and clay and additives. Now here our mold sand is basically the green sand. Now what is green sand? Green sand is basically silica plus 18 to 30% binder, 18 to 30% clay plus 6 to 8% moisture. Moisture is the water which we are adding. So this combination of clay, silica, clay and moisture makes the mixture a green sand mold. So we will be preparing a green sand mold using a wooden pattern. So first we have taken the pattern. Now we will be taking a split pattern here. We will be taking a split pattern, that the pattern will be equally divided into two halves, that is the upper portion and the lower portion. And now we need to have a comb box and a drag box. So this is a drag box, this is called a drag box, which is the lower box used for casting, and the top box which is used is called the comb box. So in drag box, first we will place the one pattern in the drag box upside down like this. We will put sand here and we will ram to finish it. Once it is finished, we will put sand and we will ram it using the help of a rammer to finish it. Once it is finished, we will invert it upside down so that it looks like this. This pattern is immersed into the sand. So this is the split pattern whose impression is taken, basically which looks like the impression is taken in the drag box. Now again the same thing will be repeated for the comb box, but in case of comb box, apart from what we do, we will first place the comb box here, and there are dowel pins here in the comb box and holes in the drag box. The dowel pins must align with these holes so that part matching can be accurately maintained. Now we put the comb box on the drag box, we will place the rest of the split pattern on the top of it. Also we can use dowel pins here also in this pattern surfaces. In the top pattern we can use dowel pins, in the lower pattern we can use dowel holes to perfectly align these two pieces. Then put it here, we will put the impression pattern for the sprue, and we will put the impression pattern for the razor like this, and we will again pour sand here. We will be putting sand and we will be ramming it. Okay, in the top we will be completely ramming it, so that all the impressions are there inside the, or all the cavities are, or all the impressions are accurately taken inside this cope and drag. Now when it is done, it is complete, we will just open it up and we will take out the patterns from the cope and drag boxes. Once the patterns have been taken out, then we have to make some runner arrangement for the molded material to pass into the mold cavity. This is the cavity for the lower box, this is the cavity for the upper box, and there will be a provision for the razor. So all this will be there inside the cope and drag. Now while doing this, we have to use some special quality sands like your parting sand and facing sands, which are also used. Like parting sand will be used in between the cope, and once we have taken the impression of the pattern in the drag box, and on the surface of the drag box we will put parting sand, and then we will put the cope box on the top. Once it is done, the molten metal will be fed from here, and we will wait for some few minutes the materials to solidify, and after that we will break the mold and we will take out the required casting from it. We will now move to the lab to see the experiment, as most of the experimental thing in this is theoretical, which will be explained in the lab. Thank you. The second experiment, that is preparation of green sand mold. So after demonstration we are coming to the experiment. Now let us see what are the equipments required for preparation of green sand mold. This is the cope and drag box. This is the lower box, which is called the drag box, and this is the upper box, which is called the cope box. Okay, so the cope box is attached with some dowel pins. Here are the dowel pins, and here are the holes. These are the dowel pins. These are the holes in the drag box. These dowel pins will align with these holes in the cope and drag box. Okay. Then we have, for the experiment, we need a pattern, which is a split pattern. This is a split pattern. As you can see, this is a split pattern. This is the ramming hammer. This will be used for ramming. This is the equipment for sprue. This will make the impression for the sprue, and this will be used for making the impression of the runner in the cope box. This is a pin which is used to vent, and we will make some runner arrangement with the help of this spoon. This is a strike off bar. This is used to clear the surface of the sand after pouring into the cope and drag. Now we have come towards our sand. This is a sand mixture, as you can see. It consists of sand, clay and dextrin powder. It is a sand mixture. We will add some water in this sand mixture, and after addition of water we will mix it in the Muller machine. We have added some water, and we will use this machine, Muller machine, to mix the sand properly. This machine will be used. This sand will be first placed in the machine. We need to put an amount of sand which is required for the experiment. So a higher amount of sand is required. So the mixture of sand, clay, it is a mixture sand. It is prepared by mixing proportion of sand with clay and dextrin powder. After filling the machine, Muller machine, with sand, we are now mixing it. This mixing can be seen from here. The sand is being mixed. After mixing the sand for a specific amount of time, we will now open the gate of the machine and we will collect the sand which we have mixed into the tub. You can once again start the machine to segregate the sand out of the jar, but be very careful and take particular precaution while doing this. After this, we will collect the sand into the jar. Now coming to the experiment part, first we will place the split pattern into the drag box like this. This is the split pattern, these are the dowel pins, again for proper alignment of drag and the cope, proper matching. Now we have placed the split pattern, one of the piece of split, into the drag box first. Then we will cover it with the help of the mixture which we have, sand mixture which we have prepared in the Muller machine. So this is now being poured into the drag box. This mixture is poured into the drag box over the split pattern which we have placed in the middle. Then we have to ram the whole setup with the help of the rammer. We will be ramming the whole setup. It should be properly rammed so that it is being placed properly. Now after ramming a certain portion, we will again mix the sand so that it is fully filled, and then again we will ram it. So this is a step-by-step process. You fill a small amount of sand so that the pattern is not disturbed. You have to take care of that also. The pattern doesn't get disturbed while filling the sand in the drag box or while ramming it. So we do it step by step. We fill a little bit of sand and we ram it. Then again we fill the other half section of the drag box and we ram it. Like this way it occurs. You can see after completion the bottom portion of the drag box is fully finished. The surface is quite smooth now. It is to be properly rammed, and now this drag box needs to be inverted. Now we will invert this drag box first. So we have to do it very neatly so that the mold doesn't comes out, and obviously if you have rammed it properly, so it will be okay. Now you can see the pattern which we have placed at the middle of the drag box. You can see it. Now we'll put the parting sand here. This parting sand is used so that on the face of the cope and drag box we will use some parting sand. Okay. In the demonstration we have already told you what is the reason for using the parting sand. It is used so that the two boxes doesn't get stick to each other, because there will be sand mixture in both the boxes, so that they doesn't get stick to each other. We put a small amount of parting sand. So it is been evenly distributed over the surface of the drag. On the top of the drag box, you must have noticed by the time that once the filling up of the drag is complete, we have inverted the drag, and now we have put the parting sand. Now we will put the cope over the drag box. So I have already told you there are dowel pins. As you can see, these dowel pins will get aligned with the holes in the drag box, and we will put the drag and the cope. Again we have to place the pattern. We have to place the pattern first, and the holes in the pattern of the drag box must align with the holes of the cope box, so that that particular alignment of axes can be maintained. Once this is placed, this is aligned, we have to now place the riser over the top of it and the sprue okay, we'll place it like this so that this remains at their place. This will act as small wooden patterns will act as a impression for the sprue and the runner. Now we need to fill again the cope box with the prepared sand. So carefully fill it up so that the runner or the sprue doesn't get displaced from their position. Now as you can see, this is fully filled and we are skimming the excess sand from the top and distributing it evenly on the surface, and we will again continue ramming it until the finished surface is acquired. So once it is skimmed properly with the help of the skimmer, again you have to ram it. I have to take care of important thing that the patterns, the riser pattern and the sprue pattern doesn't get displaced from their actual position. They remains there. Now the surface is complete. As you can see, we can see the sprue pattern. We can see the pattern of the riser here. So this surface is totally complete. Now we will invert the whole setup. After inverting, you can see the inside portion of the drag box and the cope box. You can see the split patterns which we have inserted before placing the sand. You can see the sprue hole. Here is the sprue, and the other portion of the riser is below this cope box. Now we need to make some runner arrangement inside the drag box on the face. So we will make some runner arrangement from the sprue to the mold cavity, towards the mold cavity. This is how the runners are made. So this runner will help the material to flow from the sprue to the mold cavity. So some runner arrangement is made and some gating arrangement will be made after the removal of the patterns from the boxes. So this is how we have made a runner arrangement from the sprue towards the mold cavity. So a runner has been made a little bit deeper so that to make it like a bottom fill cavity. So for bottom fill cavity, the advantage is that the material flow is much smoother, and we can regulate or we can decrease the turbulence in the material flow by using a bottom filling pattern like that. So the deep runner is being cut into the pattern. Now we will take out the patterns. The pattern will be taken out from the cavity. So carefully, so that the mold wall doesn't break, we have to look into that. The pattern has been taken out in such a way that the mold wall should not break, so that we have to look into it. So carefully we have to take it out. So this is, you can see, we have taken out the pattern from the cope box, from the drag box, and this is how we are taking out the pattern from the cope box. You can see the runner, it has got a little bit dismantled here. It's not an issue. We will invert it and we will take out the runner and the sprue finally. So you can see here the channel is made into the sprue. So a little bit of more clearance. So this is how the gate are made. This is the gate. This is the runner, you can say, almost this runner. And if you make a slight arrangement of gate over here, so a slight arrangement of gate and runner is made. So now we will invert the cope pattern once again, the cope box, and we will make it align with the help of the dowel pins in the boxes, so that both the cavities, they match perfectly with each other. So the alignment is done, and it's time to take out the sprue and the razor pin patterns. Also we have to take sufficient clearance while doing this so that the job doesn't get distorted. So we have taken out the sprue pin. As you can see, the sprue over here, the molten metal will be poured into the sprue, and it will pass through the runner into the cavity, mold cavity, and we will take out the runner also, and finally the excess metal will raise into the razor cavity. Now we will try to take out the razor. So a lot of precautions should be taken while taking out the razor and the sprue pin. So you can see now this is the razor been taken out, and you can see the mold cavity inside. The mold cavity can be seen inside. So the razor is perfectly placed. So what will happen? We will pour the liquid metal into the sprue. It will go through the rainer into the mold cavity, and finally it will raise into the razor. Once this is done, then we will break the mold and we will take out the casting. Thank you.